Good morning and welcome back to another day of a year of miracles. And today we're on A Course in Miracles workbook lesson number 333. So I'm going to dive right in. Today's lesson is Forgiveness Ends the Dream of Conflict Here. Conflict must be resolved. It cannot be evaded, set aside, denied, disguised, seen somewhere else, called by another name, or hidden by deceit of any kind, if it would be escaped. It must be seen exactly as it is, where it is thought to be, in the reality which has been given it, and with the purpose that the mind accorded it. For only then are its defenses lifted, and the truth can shine upon it as it disappears. Father, forgiveness is the light you chose to shine away all conflict and all doubt, and light the way for our return to you. No light but this can end our evil dream. No light but this can save the world, for this alone will never fail in anything, being your gift to your beloved Son. So what does today's lesson mean? It's all about forgiveness again, and also seeing conflict as it is. I know for me personally, I was always the one to run and hide from conflict. I was terrified of any kind of conflict. So I was the person who always wanted to make sure everyone was happy, doing everything I could to make sure that there was no conflict. And when there was conflict, I would duck and cover, right? And hide until it would go away. And so that was how I dealt with conflict for a long, long time. And what happens then is we deny it, we push it down, deep down inside of us, right? And that's where our pain starts becoming dis-ease within our body, right? And so we have to do the work to bring it back up so that we can look at it and let it go. And most of us have done this in one way or another since we were young children, right? Something happened in our lives when we were maybe 2 or 3 or 4. Think back to a time when you were very young, the very first time that you were really, really scared of something, some kind of conflict came into your life. And you probably already know what that is, right? And for whatever reason, part of your early domestication process, this thing happened and it terrified you, right? It was conflict. And you did the best you could at that time to deal with it, whether that was ducking and covering, hiding, or maybe denying it, right? Or running away from it. Whatever you could do to escape that, because of course you were a child and you had to do what you thought you could do at that moment. But what happens is we develop these habits and these fears over time, and we learn how to deal with conflict from our early domestication process. So we deal with all of the conflict in our life like that. We push it down, or we run away, or we hide from it, right? And what does that does? It just creates more chaos, it creates more fear, and it builds and builds and builds until we don't even know why we're sick anymore, right? We have these pains in our bodies, we have these diseases that show up, and we don't understand why we're there, why they are there, and we think something must have happened to us that was beyond our will, and something beyond our control has, given us this pain or this disease or these broken relationships in our lives, right? But it's all about how we deal with conflict. So today, let's talk about forgiveness ending the dream of conflict, which is what this lesson is. And just sit for a moment and think about that thing that happened back in that time when you were very young that created that pain. Maybe you feel like someone kicked you in the stomach, right? Or you've got this pain in your heart, or maybe a lump in your throat, right? Sometimes these situations show up as pains in our body. And then think about that and really allow yourself to feel that part of your body that's experiencing that dis-ease, right? And allow that to grow bigger and bigger and allow it to do what it wants to do. But at the same time, try to detach from the story and just really focus on the pain. And just imagine that pain is like a baby that's crying, right? That you've fed it, you've burped it, you've changed it, you've done everything you could to console this crying baby, and it just won't stop crying, right? So what is there left to do when a crying baby just won't stop crying? You just wrap your arms around it and you give it all the love you have to give. And you just say, I love you, I'm here for you. Don't worry, don't cry. I'm here just giving you all of my love. And give that to yourself today, right? Forgive that self that has created this dis-ease in your body. See how that works. Quiet your mind, find a quiet place to do this, and just feel all of that dis-ease and discomfort come up and look at it and let it go. Because the pain you're carrying around right now and the way you're dealing with conflict now probably has a lot to do with that thing that happened to you when you were very, very young and you didn't know how to deal with pain and you didn't know how to deal with conflict. But now you do, right? Because now we are on lesson 333 in A Course in Miracles, and we have better tools now. So it's okay. You don't have to be afraid anymore to look at that pain and let it go into the light, right? So this lesson says, forgiveness is the light you chose to shine away all conflict and all doubt and light the way for our return to you, right? And what does that mean? It just means returning to the true self, that one self that connects all of us in that one mind of love, right? Because that's what you are. You are love. So let's see today if we can just bring up a little bit of that conflict and let it go. And let's not be afraid to stand in our power today. Find our voice. If there are different things that bubble up around us that maybe start making us feel a little bit conflicted, right? Don't be afraid and hide and run. Don't stuff it down. Don't duck and cover. Just ask yourself, what would love do now? That's all. And then be love. Listen to the voice and allow it to come through you. And stand and be that love today. So that is what our lesson is today. A Course in Miracles 333. Forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here, because it's all a dream. That's all. Just part of that separated self thinking that they are alone and afraid. And we're not alone and afraid, right? We know we are all connected to that one mind of love that we all share, right? So great to see all of you here on the live feed on this beautiful Friday morning, right? Black Friday. Hope you all enjoyed a great Thanksgiving yesterday. Good morning, Francine. Hi, honey. Nice to see you here. Good morning, Deb. Hi, Vera. Good morning, Perul. Nice to see all of you here. Good morning, Carl. Hey, Colette. Great to see you. Aw, thanks, honey. And I am so grateful for you, too. Great to see you here on the live feed every morning. You've always been so supportive of all of these lessons that we do every day. 333 days my husband has showed up every day, which is amazing. And I'm so grateful for you to do that and be on this journey with me. Good morning, Kelly. Great to see you here this morning. Hey, Carl. I know I was thinking the same thing, right? 333. What a great number for today. And I'm really into numerology too, which makes this a really great lesson for me too. Good morning, Pam. Nice to see you here this morning. Good morning, my beautiful friend, Debbie Morello. Great to see you this morning. I know, right? Conflict stresses me out too. I tend to run from it too, but it's amazing what happens when you don't run. When you stand and you connect to source, right? Because we run because we think we're separated, right? We think that we have no ally and that we're all alone and that we're this small, tiny thing. But we're so much bigger than that when we own our power and we really connect to that place of love, that one mind that connects all of us. And then you know what? You realize that whatever that situation is that you're in conflict with, it's just coming at you from someone who also is feeling separated, right? It's that part of them that feels small and little, and they're pretending to be big and powerful so that they can be scary. And they are scary, right? But when you see it for what it really is and you realize that they're just crying out for help, right? All attack is merely a cry for help. Then you can see that one mind of Christ in them that you share, and you realize there's nothing to be afraid of, right? Because we are all part of that one mind. And they're just here to teach us. They're here to remind us that we are one. And who is they? Well, they are us because we are one. And then it gets really cool when you think about how we're all connected like that. And we're just showing up in each other's lives or in our own lives to help us to figure out who we are and what we are and connect to that part of us that shares that one mind, right? Which is really cool. Good morning, Phil. Great to see you here this morning. All threes, I know. 3:33, Vera. I was just saying that. How cool is that? And conflict does disappear with forgiveness. It just, gone, just like that. Hi, Payabula. Nice to see you here on the live feed this morning. Good morning, John. Great to see you join. Hey, Jim. Awesome to see you here on the live feed this morning. Hey, Terry. I appreciate this connection between conflict and disease. Right? Resolution is so healthy, and it's true, right? Because when we don't deal with it, we stuff it down, and it does create disease in the body. Good morning, everyone. Forgiveness is what is chosen. That's right. You can choose to be love. I didn't run from conflict. I stood by and watched, and sometimes speak up and intervene. Now I can look at it and at some point forgive and then connect with love. That's right, Vera. You know, we all deal with conflict in different ways, right? And sometimes we just watch it and observe it. But, you know, we need to just go inside and connect with source and really powerful words to say, what would love do now? Ask your higher self, what would love do now? Let me be love in this moment. And then quiet your mind, because if you don't quiet your mind, the ego will take over and he'll pretend to be love, and he's probably not so much loving. So really allow your mind to quiet at that moment and allow the truth to come in. And sometimes, I think I shared this before, what I've done in moments of conflict, because it's hard to quiet your mind when you're in that like battleground, right? I've just lit a candle and I'll stare at the candle and really try to quiet my mind. And you'd be amazed at what comes through when you get to that point of just having that quiet mind. There's a lot of information coming to you that you just can't hear until you quiet your mind. But then there's so much coming in to help you through, because you are never alone. That's the great part about all of these lessons. Good morning, Lewis. Nice to see you here. Hey, Judy. Great to see you on the live feed. Good morning, Bonnie. Hi, Marianne. Great to see you here too on the live feed, joining this morning. So happy Friday, everyone. And this is, of course, a great lesson for Black Friday, right? There might be a lot of you going out today and being in very conflicting environments, and just try to be love today. You know, bring that love with you and shine that love and share it with all of your brothers, because you are one with them. You are one with everything, right? You are stardust. We are all stardust. So great lesson for today. A Course in Miracles workbook lesson 333. Forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here. See how that shows up for you today. And I will be back tomorrow morning with our next live A Course in Miracles workbook lesson. So I hope you join me tomorrow. Good morning, Sarah. I see you just jumped in. Great to see you here this morning. And join me tomorrow for our next A Course in Miracles workbook lesson. Until then, happy Friday and have a great day. Thanks, guys. Bye.